Hi, and welcome to my podcast, Pregnant in Japan, your podcast about pregnancy, birth, and the joy of a relaxed motherhood in Japan. My name is Vicky. I'm a German mom living in Tokyo. I'm sharing my positive birth experience to inspire you with yours. Midori-san, thank you for being my guest on my podcast. You are the mom of beautiful Anne, who's a little over a year old now. You live in Tokyo, but for giving birth you went back to your hometown, which we will learn more about later.
Hi, Vicky. Thanks for having me today. I'm very excited but a little bit nervous for the first time interview.
No problem.
I'll do my best.
It's gonna be perfect. Before we start, Midori, I have two unconventional questions for you. Mm-hmm. First one, what is one of your favorite places in Tokyo?
My favorite place is Tokyo Tower, which is my husband proposed to me, and we recorded our wedding movie there.
Oh, what is a wedding movie for?
This is something typical in Japan. So the movie is shown before the wedding ceremony starts, and it is used to introduce the groom and the bride to the families and the guests, and it also tells the story, how they met.
Oh, what a wonderful habit. Thank you. Midori-san, the other question is...
Yes.
What is your favorite Japanese meal?
So my favorite Japanese meal is harakomeshi. So it's local food in my hometown. It is made by salmon and salmon roe with soy sauce-based dashi and rice. My grandma always cooked for me when I went to see her.
Oh, sounds delicious. I will definitely try it. Yeah. Is it possible to buy this meal in Tokyo or just in your hometown?
Actually, my hometown is Sendai. It's northeast part of Japan, and you can buy the meal in Tokyo, but I definitely recommend to go to my hometown and eat it. It's very, it's delicious.
Okay.
So maybe come to visit my hometown.
Okay, so Sendai, right? We will remember. Thank you. Midori-san, you live in Tokyo, but for giving birth, you went back to your hometown, so to Sendai. I have heard from other Japanese women doing so. Is that something common to do in Japan, going back for giving birth?
Yeah, I think it is common in Japan. It is really hard to do chores for pregnant women. Also, after they give birth, to take care of their baby by only themselves is very difficult. So in Japan, still men will take paternity leave is a rare case, like my husband does. But I think COVID-19 changed this situation. If we decide to go back to our hometown to give birth to our baby, we have to go back to our hometown 1.5 months before the baby is born.
Wow.
Yeah, and we cannot see husband after giving birth because the husband will come from another prefecture. They need to come to the place 2 weeks before to certify they are not infected by COVID-19. So actually, many of my friends changed to choose Tokyo's hospital to give birth. And after 1 month checkup, they go back to their hometown, or the mom came to help them after the baby was born.
Yeah, definitely a hard situation with the COVID.
Yes.
apart from that, so women go back to get support from their moms or families, and how does it exactly look like?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, the most common reason is the husband cannot help the wife so much because they cannot take paternity leave. So the women often asked for help for their man. Though many Japanese young family lives in small house like me, so which means mom cannot stay with them. So also we go back to our hometown. We do not have to our chores, so women can relax and take a rest in their hometown.
How wonderful. Sounds like really good care. And how long do women usually stay with their parents or with their mom?
I think it takes about 2 to 3 months.
So
But it depends on the family situation.
you mean 2 to 3 months in total?
Yes, in total. And starting from week 33, the checkups has to be in the hospital where you give birth.
And can the husband come to visit?
Yes, my husband visited almost every weekend, but in this COVID situation, it's hard to visit so often.
Yes, I imagine. But is it normal to come every weekend, or is it up to the wife, or does it depend on how far the parents live?
I think it depends on how far the parents live.
I see. Okay.
Mm.
And generally speaking, is it going back home typical for moms in big cities like Tokyo? Or is it something that they do in other cities too?
I think it's not so different from Tokyo and other cities. So it depends on each family situation.
Okay. And I wonder, do Japanese women usually know the hospital where they will give birth, or how do they know things about the hospital?
So when we notice a pregnancy, we will start searching about the hospital and reserve it within 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. But I imagine it must be so hard to search for a hospital when you are living somewhere else. How do you search for a hospital? Is it online or friends' recommendation? And can you actually visit the hospital before?
In my case, I asked some friends because already some of my friends had babies. So, and also I asked my family because my family has lived in my hometown for a long time. So they know the hospitals and can make good recommendations for me.
Okay. And how was everything in your case? I mean, for how long did you stay, and how long did your family help you? Did your husband also come to visit you?
So in my case, my baby did not come even 1 week after the scheduled date. So I'm waiting for her a long time. So then finally I stayed at hospital and I got induced. So my husband luckily made it and he helped me with laving my back. But he was more nervous than me at that time. And he asked me if he can listen to music to calm down. So I was very surprised by his question, but I said, okay, 大丈夫? So you can hear your music. So as he was so super nervous, I decided to be very relaxed and concentrate on deep breathing instead of screaming. Then it only take 5 hours for my baby to come. So I was very touched. Finally, I could see her and hold her in my hand.
Oh, wonderful.
So,
She made you wait a week, huh?
yeah. So after giving birth, I stayed in my hometown, and first it was planned for about 2 months because some of my friends' wedding party was scheduled. So my husband visited us every week or every other week. It got hard to go back to Tokyo because of COVID-19. So I could not go back to Tokyo until the end of state of emergency. And I had to stay in my hometown. So my husband could not meet our baby for about 3 months. It's so long.
That is long.
Yeah, so I'm so sorry for my husband. But in the beginning, we didn't know about COVID-19, so it seems so dangerous and to go back to Tokyo. So, but these days, I sometimes regret about that time. I should have gone back to Tokyo earlier for my husband and my babies. I think spending time with our own family, mom and dad, and baby, is the most important for us. Because baby understands about people around her, and the more we spend time together, the more she opens her heart. So my husband and my baby needs a long time to make their relationship. But if I could have a second baby, I will stay in Tokyo and call help to my mom to stay in Tokyo for some week, maybe.
Yes, wow, what a story. Quite something. And
Yeah.
Midori-san, how or what did you do to create a relationship between your baby and your husband then?
So I asked my husband to take care of my babies on his holiday. And I also asked him to spend time alone with her. So I could get used to her dad. So now they're in very good relationship.
Very good. And are there any other Japanese traditions you did we could learn more about?
Actually, nothing special because I could not do any celebration because of COVID-19. So, but we did a photo shooting for 6 months.
Oh.
So it's not a traditional, but a nice memory. So she was wearing stuffed animals, Miffy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Miffy for the shooting.
Wow. Is it something typical for doing a photo shooting for the 6 months?
Yeah, it's getting more popular in Japan for the 6 months or 1 year birthday.
Okay. Wow, 6 months. That's pretty uncommon for me. I didn't know about it.
Oh, really?
Well, Midori-san, thank you so much for your first-hand insights about the Japanese custom of going back home for giving birth. That was completely new to me. And that's why I wanted to interview you and let other foreigners know about this custom in Japan. And I'm so glad you took the time to tell us more about it and how everything went in your case. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to learn more about our Japanese custom maybe next time.
Okay.
Thank you, Midori-san.
Yeah, thanks again.